This right here is what I believe is a true game changer if you're going to be using your iPhone 17, 17 Pro, 17 Pro Max for photography or videography. It is by Telesin, is their Master Grip Creator Combo Kit. There's other variants of this kit, and of course I'll link to them in the description down below. The reason why I say it's a game changer is because of this grip right here, and we'll talk about that as this video goes on. Now, a big thank you to Telesin for sending this out for review. I've got it for my iPhone 17 Pro Max. And as we take a look at everything that comes inside of this box, you're going to get a phone case, you're going to get a Master Grip, a selfie light, a UV filter, a charging cable, a wrist strap, and a user guide. And before we unbox this, the best thing about this is the grip. It changes everything for videos and photos with your iPhone. It has a 2-stage shutter on it, a zoom lever, a custom key button, a mode dial, and then of course your thumb rest as well. The other thing about that grip is it serves as a battery, 3200 mAh with wireless charging. You're going to have a graphene cooling case in the box that you can use if you'd like, the filters as well. So let's go ahead and unbox this. I think this would be a really good gift idea for those videographers or photographers who are going to be using their phone in this sense. And I'll give you a look up close of all these things in just a moment. Here is that graphene cooling case that you see right here. Right inside of this pouch, we're going to have some instruction manuals alongside of a couple of other things, such as a screen shield. So yeah, you get a screen shield here. I'll show you what that looks like in just a moment. Let me pop that out. So this is one of the screen shields that has full coverage, but it actually has that nice kind of black edge around it. So it just blends seamlessly into your phone. We get a guide. So basically this rests on top of the screen of your iPhone, and then you lay that screen shield down. So it's a near foolproof installation kit. You get some instruction manuals here. You're also going to get a microfiber wipe, and then you're going to get a larger instruction manual with all the details about everything that you're going to see inside of this box. In this little box, let's go ahead and pop this open. You're going to find a couple of things. So first off, we're going to get this strap that you can attach, and it is a little beefy. So you've got a nice, almost like a carabiner functionality right here that clips. And this is thick cabling. So very nice, very substantial, doesn't feel cheap or anything like that. And then right here, let's go ahead and open this up. This is a cable. It is a USB-C cable that you see right there. So we've got that as well. Let's set those aside. All right, next up, let's go ahead and pull out our light. You can see that we have a MagSafe light. So the cool thing about this kit, I've got to say, is that you could use these things independently of one another. And I'll come back to these things and walk through them all in just a moment. But really, anything that I'm showing you here, you can use them on their own. You can use them in combination with anything else that you see here. And that's really the cool thing about that. This is a UV filter that we get inside of the box as well. And a lot of these things are going to have little plastic over them that you pull off. It protects the lens during shipping. But once you get it, you want to peel those things off before you use it. And then here is the star of the show, in my opinion. This is that camera grip, and it is MagSafe. So you're going to basically pull this off that you see right there. And you can even see how it talks about it is a ability to wirelessly MagSafe charge. There's your thumb rest right here. And then we get all of the buttons along the side that we'll talk through in just a moment. But this thing's killer. I love this so much. Okay, so we're going to start things off with our Master Grip case. This is a graphene case that helps with cooling. We'll peel that off right there, set that aside. And then as you'll see here, a couple of things before I pop my iPhone into it. You've got that cooling pad here, but this also kind of, you can see straight through it because it's a vent. So not only is it MagSafe compatible and has that cooling pad here, but it also allows for ventilation to come out when you are using this. So let's go ahead and pop the phone in. Okay. And so now we have the case on the phone. And one thing I want to call out to you, if you are installing this, the best way to do it, in my opinion, is to work one side in. Now, what I found is that the button on the iPhone sticks out a little bit. If you press the side button in when you're going to install this, it's a much easier fit rather than trying to force it in and the case is pressing against the buttons. Now, I do have a screen shield on my case, and you can see that it raises up a little bit above this case. So you're really not going to get anything in the way of lay on the table design with this case. So be aware of that. But as far as buttons go, everything is covered here. We have coverage here. Your camera control is a cutout, and then we have the capability to lace in that lanyard that I showed you that comes inside of the box. Let's take a look at the back side. And so here it is up close. It really goes for that old kind of retro camera style grip that you see right here. And it looks really nice. And then we have our camera cutout here, which I also appreciate the fact that you've got this area covered. So really it only exposes the areas that need to be exposed here. And let's go ahead and get the UV filter, and I'll show you how that works here, because what we're going to do is we're going to just peel off the sticky or the little protective film that's on either side here. And then once we've done that, you are going to see an arrow. And so the way that this works is let's grab that arrow, let's grab this case, and you're going to just simply slide it into place, get it aligned with the rail here, if I can find that just right. And it goes on just like so. And it also has like a magnetic capability, so it stays in place. It's not going to slide off, and you can see what that looks like. So not only do you get some protection for your cameras, but you get a UV filter, as you see right there. And I'm going to leave that one on for just a moment as we go through this demonstration. Now, as I mentioned, those buttons are very responsive, so you can see what that looks like. And you can see that the button presses here for volume work just fine. As we press that, that's going to work just fine. And of course, because the camera control is a cutout, that's going to work just fine as well. Let's move on to the MagSafe light for just a moment. And you can use this on its own. You can use it with other cases if you want. This, I'll show you how it attaches to this case, but it'll also attach actually this grip too, as you see right there. So this works as one big package, or as I mentioned before, independently of one another. So the light itself has a USB-C port for charging this light. And then as we open this up, you are going to find that we've got a mirror. So let's go ahead and peel that off. And you can see that you can see yourself for better framing if you needed to do that. This is also going to spin all the way around. And I'm going to try to do this in such a way that it doesn't really blind you guys. But what you'll notice here, let me go ahead and close that up. There is a button right there. And so as I press that and I hold that, that light is going to turn on, and this dial serves as a brightness dial, and it goes from dim to extremely bright. But let me go ahead and press that and turn this off. And then let's go ahead and attach this to the case like so. And here's how it works. So you can basically like have it just like this and do your filming, or you can spin this around. Let's say you needed to basically get the other side for some reason, you could do that. And when you do that, notice that we now have access. Of course, I put my fingerprints all over it, but we now have access to that mirror. So you can see yourself here, take photos or videos, and also have your lighting as well. So that's how this guy is going to work. And by the way, one other thing that I want to mention about this light is you have the capability, one, to see how much power is left via the 3 blue dots. And as it goes down, the lights will shut off. But the other thing is if you don't hold this button when the light is on, you can cycle through different temperatures. And so you can see from cool white to more of a kind of a yellowy sort of color temperature. I don't know the exact kelvins on these, if it's 5600 versus other kelvins, but it looks like we get, there's 1, 2, 3, so 3 different lighting modes here. And then of course, hold it to turn it off. Now, before we even get started with the grip, I want to talk to some of the features here, because if you connect this to Bluetooth, which you're going to have to do to utilize this, but if you only connect it to Bluetooth, you're only going to be able to use the shutter button. If you want to use the zoom features and all the other things, what you need to do on your iPhone is go into your settings, your accessibility, your zoom, and turn on zoom. Now you're going to notice that it immediately zooms everything in. And so the way that you're going to get around this at this point is with 3 fingers and tap 3 times, 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to hit zoom out. That's all there is to it. With that capability turned on, and you can always go in and turn it off at any point in time, but with that capability turned on, you're going to be able to use the additional features on this grip, which I'll show you in just a moment. Let's go ahead and connect this. So the first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to turn this on. So this button right here, the capture key, actually, you're going to hold it for 2 seconds to power it on. And now it's powered on. You may or may not see that green blinking light. And we're going to go into our Bluetooth settings, and you're going to find the Telesin device, and then you will connect it. You'll pair it, and that's all there is to it at that point. Now, with the grip already paired to the phone, we're ready to use it. And remember, this can be used with the case that comes with this kit, or with any case that you might have that is MagSafe compatible. And the beautiful thing about this, before I talk about all the functionalities here, is you can use it in portrait or landscape mode. So you'll see we've got the capability to use it like this, or you can reattach it and now use it like this for, let's say, all of those social media posts that you might be doing, or if you prefer to shoot in that format. So for this video, I'm actually going to use it in this mode. And let's go ahead and unlock my phone here, and I'm already in the camera functionality. But before I show this to you, and by the way, it can even act as a stand here, I want to show you the manual here just for a moment, because I'm not sure that I'm going to walk through every single functionality here, but I will go through many of them. So you can use the capture key to start and stop recording or to take a photo. You can, of course, use the slider to zoom in and out. You can switch cameras by short pressing the screen wake up key. You can mode switch by using the slide mode dial left or right. And you can also use the short function key press button to take a photo, or double tap it to pause recording. And then half pressing the capture key will also allow you to focus. So let me show you what this looks like in practice. So we've got all of our buttons and sliders up here. I love this so much. I mean, to have the ability, like a camera, to use that slider and zoom in or out is pretty phenomenal. And it's a little tricky to like go slowly on the zoom. So when you move it, it does go pretty quick, but that's a very minor gripe. So that's your zoom. Right now I'm in photo mode. If I switch to video mode here, it's the same thing. I can zoom in or out, but let me go back to photo. And you'll notice if I half press, it allows me to focus in on different areas here, as you'll see as I'm doing that. But then also you can full press to take a photo. You can use the function or the dial on the front here to switch between different modes: time lapse, slow mode, cinematic, etc. And the other thing is you can change that to different functions as well. If you wanted to change that slider to adjust, let's say, the brightness, you can do that as well. Let's take a look at this button along the top next to the capture. And when you press that, that's going to flip you around to the front-facing camera and then back again. So that's real nice. And we talked about that function key and how you can use that to change specific types of modes and pause video recording or things like that. In the video record mode, we're going to press the button to start recording. And then, of course, you can use that function button, double press it to pause, as you see there. And then you can press the button to resume. or you can, of course, stop it altogether with a different button press. So if I press the capture button, it records, double press to pause. Of course, I can take a photo at that point if I wanted to. And then, of course, I can double press again to resume. So that's how that's going to work. But this is really a game changer, in my opinion. It's very sturdy. It's very stable. I like the fact that you can actually use this with other cases if you don't want to use this particular case. And I also like the fact that you can use it a couple of different ways, as I mentioned before, like this, or in landscape or in portrait mode. Now, I mentioned that you could also use this as a charger, and something I didn't show you just yet is on the bottom side of this grip, you have a capability to attach a lanyard. We have a thread for a tripod if you'd like. And then we have an area to charge this up via USB-C. And this button right here, if you press that, what's going to happen, let me go ahead and get out of my camera here. If you press that button, it is going to enable wireless charging. And you can see that it is indicated right there. And you can see that it's charging right up there in the top corner. And we'll also be able to see how much power is left in the grip. So there are 4 lights to indicate 100%. You get down to 3, you're around 75%, 2 around 50, 1 around 25 or less. So you'll know where you're at all times. But you can utilize this to charge your phone. And that's a great thing, right? Because if you need that extra power, you can certainly do that. Now, on the topic of charging, I also want to mention if you are charging when you're using this grip and you want to shoot videos or photos, as long as you have that charger enabled, you can do it. And so you can be taking photos and videos while you are charging at the same time. And that is phenomenal. So you'll see as I exit out, it is still charging. So this is great for live streamers. This is great for photographers, videographers. Now, the last thing I'll mention about this is this grip. As I've mentioned, this is truly the star of the show here, in my opinion, and I will be using this quite often. I can see so many different use cases for this when you want to take photos or videos, want some extra stability, want to have a battery to be able to charge your device on the go. You can attach a tripod to it. You can shoot in portrait or landscape. You get those added camera controls, which is absolutely phenomenal. And the other thing that I didn't actually show you yet is we've got this attached, right? But now you have this too. So you can actually use this as a complete kit if you wanted to where now you've got your grip, but you also have your light attached and you've got a full mini phone rig here, which is kind of crazy considering the affordability of this kit, but also at the same time, the portability of this kit. It's pretty cool in itself. And what I especially like about it is these are all interchangeable. So you can use just the case. You can just use the filter. If you don't want to use this case and filter, get rid of it and use the grip and maybe the light with a different case altogether. So it's a really cool kit. It expands the horizons for what you can do with your iPhone when you're on the go shooting out in the field or even at home or even for your YouTube channel. So it is by Telesin. It is the Master Grip set. I've shown you the creator kit here in this particular video. Do me a favor, if you like the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Hit subscribe for even more content. I will catch you in the next one, and let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Take care. Here's some bonus footage. Remember, I told you could use it with any case that you're choosing. Well, this is Apple's Tech Woven, and you can see you could use that light just by itself, or better yet, in my opinion, this thing's so cool. I love it. You can use it with the grip case. So that is just, versatility right there.